Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be doing a subscriber deck. So remember, if you do want to have your deck showcased on the channel in the future, then leave it down in the comments section below, or jump into the Discord as well. I do have a community deck lists channel there, as well as a subscriber deck list channel if you are a Twitch sub, or a Patreon, or a channel member. Go right on in there and submit your deck for future videos like this one. So today I've actually got a really sweet aggro-y mid-range list submitted to us by Cimirez. So we're going to be playing some Naya aggro, I guess we're going to call it. I guess you could also call it Naya Tome of the Guildpact Rien Angel of Rebirth deck. Because this is basically a Naya aggro list with these as the top end. So Rien is the buy a box promo for M20, so you probably won't have opened any of these in your packs, but if you do craft these using wildcards, then this is probably the deck to put them in, because this is actually a really sweet deck. A 5-mana Naya coloured 5/4 flyer says other multicolored creatures you control get +1/+0, and whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So it kind of has a Feather-esque kind of value engine in that sense. You can just run your creatures into your opponent's stuff because they're going to come back next turn anyway. And then we also have Tome of the Guildpact, which is a 5-mana artifact that can add 1 mana of any colour, and whenever you cast a multicoloured spell, draw a card. Now every single card in this deck, barring lands of course, is multicoloured, so all of your spells suddenly draw cards. So your planeswalkers do, your removal spells do, and your creatures do. Speaking of removal spells, we're running Domri's Ambush, which is red and a green to put 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So killing creatures or planeswalkers, sticking counters on, very important in this deck. Allows us to proliferate using Huatli's Raptor, things like that. We'll see this card quite a lot. So the proliferate is very nice. Also, Ajani the Great-Hearted, -2ing to put a counter on each creature and each planeswalker you control. So again, we have another proliferate target there. It's a proliferate sub-theme with also a multicolored matters theme, primarily taking the helm. Thrash Threat, as I mentioned, is our other removal spell. It's basically just copies 5 and 6 of Domri's Ambush, but this one's instant speed for Gruul colours, and you can get a creature to deal damage equal to its power equal to a creature or planeswalker you don't control. So similar effect to the Ambush without the counter synergy. However, we do have the ability to do it at instant speed, and also if the ability is useless, then Thrash Threat also comes with a side effect, which we can pay 4 mana to make a 4/4 red and green beast creature token with trample, also multicolored. Because it matters, you know? Other than that though, Zertar Goblin to lead the charge, Gruul colours for 2/2 with Riot. We can choose Riot to either give haste, so a 2/2 with haste, or a 3/3 for 2 mana. Pretty sweet. Gruul Spellbreaker again with Riot for 3 mana. 3 mana 3/3, can have haste, or can have a counter. Also has trample and gives us hexproof as long as it is our turn, including Gruul Spellbreaker as well, which is very useful to force your opponent to play on their turn. It's pretty important in a format like this one. 2 copies of Night of Autumn as a little bit of a catch-all for artifacts and enchantments. Also a decent amount of life gain there. The 4 life is not irrelevant. 3 mana 2/1 is what you get for that though, unless you want to go with the 2+1/+1 counters. As we mentioned though, counters do matter, so that's also pretty nice. Domri, Anarch of Bolas, is another ramp spell. 3 mana, 3 loyalty planeswalker, gives creatures you control +1/+0. So kind of the same effect as Rien in this multicolored creatures you control effect. But we get an ability to have uncounterable creatures with the +1, which is very important. Less so in this format, since Teferi is kind of banning counter spells from existing. But you never know when your opponents are running counter magic. Like, you know, there is still Simic Flash and things like that, and Mono Blue Tempo occasionally rolling around that just run mono counters, so Domri is kind of an auto-win against that deck if you can get it down and still have threats in hand to play. The -2 is another removal effect as well. We are not short on removal in this deck. Certainly not. This one is just a pure fight effect though, which means our creature deals damage to another creature, and that creature deals damage back, so we just need a creature that is bigger than our opponent's in order for this one to actually be profitable. 2 copies of Deafening Clarion. I wasn't entirely sure on this card when I first saw it in the list, since we are a creature deck and a lot of our creatures can die to a Deafening Clarion, but from the games that I've played today, definitely not an issue. 3 damage to each creature is quite relevant. We're almost out of range with most of our creatures when it comes to that Clarion. Again, with the Huatli's Raptor and the Ajani, pumping them completely out of range, and also Rien as well, being able to return any creatures that do die as a part of the Clarion is pretty relevant. Also, giving lifelink, very, very good to survive the late game. So that's essentially the deck, guys. The mana base speaks for itself. We've got 2 basics, Mountain and Forest, so if we get Field of Ruins, then we've got some stuff to do. 3 Rootbound Crags, 4 Stomping Grounds, 4 Clifftop Retreat, 4 Sacred Foundry, 1 Temple of Triumph. I'm not actually sold on this Temple in the deck. I think I'd probably cut it and honestly put in a Rootbound Crag would be my guess, because I think this is mostly Gruul, right? 69%, nice. Yeah, it's basically a Gruul Matters, so I think I would probably put this in as the 4th Rootbound Crag, even though you do have your basics in those colours. I think red and green is the most important here, so an extra 2 copies of red and white just doesn't sit with me, especially since we got the white in the Sunpetal Grove and the Temple Garden, which is, of course, our splash colour for the white. We've only got Ajani, the Great-Hearted, and Rien, and I guess Huatli's Raptor and Night of Autumn, but these can be splashable off of Guild Mages for them, no trouble. But the mana base hasn't actually proven to be too much of an issue, but I do think that it can be improved just by cutting this temple and adding in another Rootbound Crag would probably do it in my eyes. But yeah, Guild Mages Forum sticks a counter on a multicolored creature if you use this as filter mana, essentially, so it's pretty nice. And that's the deck. Without further ado, let's get into the gameplay, and hope you enjoy it. If you do, make sure to hit that like button. It helps out the channel a great deal, lets me know what kind of content you're interested in seeing, and lets me know if you want me to revisit this wonderful, wonderful subscriber deck. So without further ado, let's get into the games, and I'll see you there. Okay, we're in, and we've got decent mana. We have, I guess, Huatli's Raptor's worth playing on 2 as a 2-mana 2/3. Straight into the Spellbreaker. We got the Thrash threat to destroy anything as well. So, yeah, I guess this is a good hand. Can't see why it wouldn't be. Hallowed Fountain. Okay. Well, let's just do our Stomping Ground tapped, past the turn. And no idea what we're up against, but I'm just going to play down the Huatli's Raptor. Revitalize. Looks like a homebrew. Can't really identify which one it is, though. It's a Fairy Time Raveler. Okay. Well, let's see if they go for the minus, because then the Spellbreaker can take him out. Cool. We even got some Sunpetal Grove, so we don't have to shock ourselves. Isn't that lovely? Alright, so we definitely want to... I mean, do we actually... If I put a counter on the Spellbreaker, I can... Huatli's Raptor and use it to proliferate. And in fact, I could even use like Thrash Threat or Domri's Ambush to kill Teferi and still hit face. I think I'm going to go for the counter. It's not as if Teferi on the tick-up's really going to do too much.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Because we have hexproof and so does the Spellbreaker on our turn, so instant speed removal's not really going to do anything. So yeah, I think we need to probably murder something here. Which one do we want to go with? Can't play at instant speed, so we're just going to look at this as a sorcery card. Which one would I want? I guess Domri's Ambush. I kind of want the counter on the Spellbreaker. You know what? Yeah, let's fight Teferi. Alright, Teferi's dead. And then let's go with Stomping Ground. Play Huatli's Raptor, take Spellbreaker up to a 6. We're protected from Settle the Wreckage, so we don't have to worry about that next turn. One with the brought back. Okay.
You'll thank me later.
Okay. Well, they can bounce my Spellbreaker.
Work. I got this.
But now they have to deal with the Raptor, otherwise Teferi's dead again. Does this make... Yeah, we can't fight Planeswalkers with that. Alright. Well. Play the Spellbreaker they know about. Give us Hexproof. And let's get in at Teferi, I guess. Not sure how much Teferi matters, but...
Only time will tell.
To be honest, whenever your opponents have the ability to play at instant speed on your turn using sorcery cards, you got yourself a problem. So they can revitalize. I feel like we can just pump out a ton of damage without much trouble, though. Narset. Not too much of a problem. They're actually Esper all this time, and there's Kaya's Wrath, so we want to be careful. Thought Erasure, nice. Never didn't have it. What did it take though? Domri. Alright. The Mastermind's Acquisition. Right, well, we're gonna kill Narset, and then we don't really have to commit to the board. So let's go 4 at Narset, 2 at our opponent. Deafening Clarion looking pretty dead here. As is our board state. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why you want Teferi out. Another Thought Erasure. Okay. Getting punished for not playing my cards into a board wipe. Gets rid of the Ghoul Spellbreaker. Okay. Yeah, we just can't... We can't play our cards into a Kaya's Wrath, so... Just having that Wrath in their hand is buying them time here. We're just going to go tap land and say go. And there's the Kaya's Wrath. Time for us to rebuild. So I'm going to go Tome of the Guildpact, which is a mana source, but also a source of card advantage. So we're just going to play this Huatley's Raptor as a 2-3. Tap land, say go. We could hold that land for an unknown card, so if they want a Thought Erasure, then they are potentially going after an unknown card that ends up being a land, but they still get the value anyway. I just want to be able to chain my spells together if at all possible.
I know my responsibility. I've got it.
There's a threat. Let's go with threat. Make a 4-4. Draw a card. Another land. Okay. Well, I'm going to send 2 at Teferi. If they've got another Kaya's Wrath, we're in trouble. Otherwise, at least I have... I was hoping that they'd let that go so that we could thrash and kill Teferi there. I think instead what we're going to do is just threat again. Draw a card. A mountain. Okay. Well, we've got lethal on board, so they're forced to minus on a creature unless they've got a board wipe or removal spell.
I've got time.
And the pressure is on, hopefully. We have lots of answers to just hit Teferi without actually having to attack him. Mastermind's Acquisition into the sideboard. What do you go get? What is the answer here? Because I was assuming they'd go for something like a board wipe, but into the sideboard, who knows? Mirari Conjecture. Fair enough. That can pull back the Mastermind's Acquisition later. For now, I think it's just Revitalize, right? Revitalize or the Cast Down. Yeah. Oh, well, we got the Domri's Ambush. So, Domri's Ambush. Put a counter on here. If we get a haste creature, we win.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
That's 1 point short. Is that enough? I think that was exactly enough. Rian gives +1/+0 to multicolored creatures as well, and we tick up Domri to get 1 mana, the mountain in the hand, and we've done it. What a conveniently well-positioned mana pool we had there. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, we have Night of Autumn as our first creature into Aurelia. Is this okay? The mana's good. Opponent's on the play. I'm not entirely sure if this is good, but against, like, aggro, Night of Autumn's pretty good. If it's somehow an artifact or enchantment-based deck, that's also pretty nice. And we have a fight after the Night of Autumn. Or Aurelia if we don't have to fight at all. I'm going to keep this one, but I think what I need off the top is something to play before the night. So Zertar Goblin or Huatley's Raptor, something like that I think is ideal. Tell you what isn't ideal. Certainly a land. Or that. That's not ideal either. Alright, Temple Garden go. We're up against Scoured Barrens, which could be budget vampires. It's going to be a life gain deck. Okay. Yeah, if we can't pump out enough damage to kill that Pride Mate, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because we only have damage-based removal, so if it's too big, then that's an issue. Let's see what our opponent can do. Johnny's welcome. Okay, this actually could be our window. So they didn't have enough creatures, or any black creatures here to pump the Pride Mate, which means what I can do is, I guess I can go with the Spellbreaker for a 4/4, or the Night of Autumn. If I go Spellbreaker, it has haste on my turn, and that means that if he doesn't kill it on his turn, i.e. by not playing creatures and playing removal instead, then I can use Domri's Ambush to fight, and there's nothing that they can really do about it. So I think we go with the Spellbreaker with a counter. And see if we can get the ambush on the Pride Mate. That would be real nice. Bloodthirsty Aerialist pumps up the Pride Mate. Aerialist could also prove to be a problem. It's kind of the same issue as the Pride Mate. There's no way in a million years that they block. So, I think we just still have to go for it. Which one's the one that we want to go for, though? This one pumps from gaining life. So does this one. This one's a flyer, though. So I guess we got to go after the flyer. Since they both trigger off creatures entering anyway. So, you fight you. And this way we can actually push through our opponent's stuff as well. So let's send a 5 through their 3/3. Might not be enough, but we'll have to see. Tap land go. Rian says whenever a multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its hand at the beginning of the next end step. So we can actually use this to hopefully keep having infinite blockers against their Pride Mate. If they're running things like cast downs, then we've kind of got that going for us. Alright, I think we just want to go with Tome of the Guildpact. I mean, I could do Night of Autumn. Night of Autumn killing a Ajani's Welcome means there's nothing for the Pride Mate to ever pump off of. But we could do that next turn. If you do that next turn, Pride Mate's about a 4/4 maybe. 4/4 or a 5/5, that becomes a problem at that point, I think. But then we have a 5/4. I don't think it's worth the card draw to risk it, though. So let's go Night of Autumn. Kill Ajani's Welcome. Stop the life gain if we can. This is probably where they show me a removal spell. Moment of Craving, eh? Oh, we chose the right choice for Night of Autumn. Don't know if it was the right sequence, though. We'll see. Ajani, Strength of the Pride to gain some life.
All those who stand up to you.
Gonna go with the Pride Mate first,
Our
though.
true strength
Interesting.
lies in our friendships.
Alright. So, if it's red, it gets +2, +0, and trample. So we have enough to kill Ajani here. I mean, we have enough already, so we could just play like Rien instead. Or Tome. Well, we're killing Ajani. That's a given. Spellbreaker has trample. 3 damage always goes through.
We must regroup.
I think we're going with Tome, because this could very easily get out of hand for us. So card advantage is going to be key here. Being able to find a fight spell for the Pride Mate as an example. Oh, now the Doom Whisperer. Doom Whisperer is not a card that I expected to see. Alright, we're at 5. Oh boy. Well, let's go Rien. Yeah, Rien. Domri's Ambush. Ooh, boy. That's a good one. So it deals damage equal to its power, so it doesn't actually do any kind of fighting back. So I think we just get rid of the Doom Whisperer, since it's the biggest threat on the board. Opponent's gonna get aggressive with their surveilling. Well, I don't think we can afford to attack here because they only put 1 card to the bottom, which says to me that they just found a removal spell. We can survive the 2-2 becoming a 3-3. So we cannot survive the 4-4 attacking though. So we know they've got Moment of Craving. If they've got Cast Down, Riani's a good blocker. Nice. I'm not going to get pressured into doing anything I don't want to do, opponent, so I just want you to know that. I think we can be a little bit conservative here. It's too risky, I think. Drew a land, but we know they've got a good card. Bolus's Citadel. Alright, well, we'll put them at a low life total where Citadel does nothing. So let's go Aurelia, draw a card. Thrash Threat. Is that enough? This fights this. And then Spellbreaker with haste. Good game. Good game. This deck's sweet. This deck is sweet. Alright, we're in. And we've got temples, shocklands. So this one we could go Temple of Triumph into Temple Garden. There's a lot of temples, so I should be more specific. Into like Guild Mage's Forum or even Clifftop Retreat to play Domri or Spellbreaker, Thrash Threat to remove whatever we need. I can't see the problem with this hand, honestly. So Temple of Triumph. Domri's Ambush. Probably don't need that with a Thrash Threat and a Domri minus available, so I'm going to bin that one. I don't know though. The ambushes and the Thrash Threats are kind of our removal of choice, so we'll have to see on that one. Alright, well, Temple Garden taps. Looks like we're up against maybe vampires. Knight of the Ebon Legion. And Legion's Landing. Oh boy. Well, that can be problematic. Is that too fast for us? So if they go land, they can activate the Knight, and they're definitely flipping Legion's Landing here as well, which means they've guaranteed the 3rd land. So I guess what we have to do is play down a Spellbreaker with a counter on it. So at least we can take something with us. A removal spell, perhaps. Danto Vanguard. Well, now if they want to flip... Yeah, if they want to flip now, they have to lose something. So that's pretty good. Okay. So I think the plan is to wipe our opponent's board as best we can. So let's do Rootbound Craig. And we either Thrash Threat or we Domri Minus. I don't think we Domri Minus because then they can swing through. I think we Thrash Threat, Spellbreaker on Knight of the Ebon Legion. Take that out. And then we can do Huatley's Raptor Proliferate. Or we could wait until the Guild Mage's Forum comes down. Domri tick up Guild Mage's Forum, counter on the Raptor, and then proliferate all three of our things. Yeah, I think we're in still like the same spot, except for they've got some decent attacks now. I think we want to wait. Certainly don't want to trade off with a Death Touch creature, and if they choose not to trade, then they're still in a good spot. Vanguard's a 3-1 that they've got to pay 4 life to attack through with. Another Vanguard. Another missed land drop, bad looks of things. And still passing. That's very strange. Really strange. And now we've got a Deafening Clarion, which is disgusting. I love it. Alright, so Guild Mage's Forum. I think we might fire off the Clarion here. It's 8 life to keep their Vanguards, and we keep them off a Legion's Landing. Yeah, let's do it. 3 damage to each creature. So this is dead, and these are 4 life each if they want to keep them. This is potentially dealing 8 damage and killing 2 creatures. That is superb value. And yeah, we're just going to pass. I think it was actually possible for us to play the Huatley's Raptor there, but the game kind of decided not to tap my colourless mana. So that's cool. Love it when a plan doesn't come together. Zertar Goblin. Yeah, look at it. It's like, I want to keep that mana around. But I think in this case it's fine. So, let's... Domri. Tick up Domri. Doesn't really matter what colour, because we're going to stick it into the Guild Mage's Forum.
Oh, have at it, boys.
Yeah, so, moral of the story. Be careful how you tap your mana. Alright, so now we have Riot. Yeah, I'd like to Riot, please. 13. I think we make it a 5-4. Opponent needs a removal spell in order to get at the Domri here. If they don't have one, then we've got an Ajani into Huatley's Raptor. Proliferate on 3 targets. Oof. They should have swung and lost some stuff a long time ago. When they had the Knight of the Ebon Legion, they should have swung through, I think.
That ain't the first time I've been knocked about.
Alright. So, let's add some green.
I've lived with animals my entire life. Explains a lot, actually.
Add some green. And then we can play Ajani the Great-Hearted.
I do not stand.
Again, I think I could have tapped better in such a way where I actually get to use my spells. This Guild Mage's Forum is problematic for people that are not thinking that Guild Mage's Forum never gets tapped for anything. Because again, I could have used this as colourless mana. So that one's on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You know the drill. Going after Domri. Alright, so that gets rid of 1 point. But now we have some ambushing to do. This time I'm gonna get the Huatli's Raptor out. Gonna be green. Into Huatli's Raptor. This is an insane turn. Proliferate all 3 of our targets. And then we even get to go minus Ajani. Proliferate again.
Always conquer darkness.
And I think we swing, get them to block. Thrash Threat's not really going to change much. And we now get an instant speed way to interact with their stuff. So if they've got something like Sorin to give lifelink, we can just smash it away, which is pretty nice. Or I can just Thrash Threat one of their creatures. Legion's Lieutenant, okay. And Knight of the Ebon Legion. Yep, so they're going to lose 1 creature. And then they're going to lose another on my turn. So this deals damage to this. And they are done. They can't really afford to pay for the Vanguard, so they're just going to be losing chump blockers every turn. Alright, some little punts there. Some are basically, you know, figuring out what the deck's doing, how the deck wants to screw you. You know, this is part of Magic Arena. You got to work around the mistakes that the client can have sometimes, and then you've got to remember that you can also make those same mistakes. So, you know, but other than that, we managed to beat down on the vampires. They were a little bit conservative in the early game, though. I think that was pretty much what allowed us to take control of that game, so it is what it is. But let's go for another game. Okay, we're in, and we have a very slow hand, unfortunately, so I think I'm going to throw this one back. Like, if we had a 2 or 3 drop here, I would absolutely turbo slam this hand, but 4 and 5 drops, not really what I had in mind, especially being on the draw. This one looks exactly like I want it, however, we're missing green, so that can be problematic. I think I've got a mulligan. Alright, we got the mana. We just need to fix this hand, and I think that's how we fix it. We just go for the Naya aggro hand. Hope this Spellbreaker lives long enough for us to ambush and make some big dudes. Also, we need a 3rd land. But that's what we're working with. Let's see if the London Mulligan can bring us out of a bad situation. Opponent shocks into Fairy Miscreant, so blue-white flyers. Knight of Autumn could be good if they're running Curious Obsessions and we manage to get our 3rd land. That's 2 ifs, though. Never want to be in the iffy situation. Alright, they got the double Miscreant. Do they have the triple Miscreant? They do, wow. Okay. Game's on. And we got our land, sweet. Alright, so tap land, say go. Where do we go with this Knight of Autumn? It's feeling like it wants to be on life gain. Ow-ee. But maybe with a Huatli's Raptor, it actually wants to be on counters, because we can proliferate now. But I imagine that's not going to be what we want. I think I'm going to go with the Spellbreaker with haste, since we're not blocking and Domri's Ambush can put counters on creatures, so we'll be fighting the Empyrean Eagle next turn. Hopefully it's enough. I think being on the draw here is just going to lose us the game, though. On the draw with a decent aggro hand from our opponent. Spectral Sailor without flash. And a Healer's Hawk. Yeah, this is probably too much. Down to 5, and even if we kill the Empyrean Eagle, we just can't live. Well, actually, we can do Deafening Clarion and blow up the world. So that was a good top deck. Let's swing, see if they block. They probably won't, because they're threatening lethal. But now they're not. Yeah, that was the top deck of the century. I wasn't actually sure about Deafening Clarion in this deck, but that has just sold me. That has done it. Empyrean Eagle, okay. And Winged Words. Alright, so let's go with Night of Autumn. Deals damage equal to its power. So the counter goes first, right? Yes. So it will be up to a 3-powered creature. The only reason we'd feel bad about gaining life here is if they had another pump spell, which Favorable Winds, Empyrean Eagle, even the Spirit dudes, good enough. It's probably safer just to go for the counters. You also have a Johnny here to tick up and gain 3 life as well. I think this is safer. Yeah, Favorable Winds would have pumped it out of range. And Cloudkin Seer. Does that put us on dead if without a land drop? A check land drop at that? I think it does. Alright, Forest. Okay, well. Yeah, let's fight. Yeah, we're still dead though. Shame. So close. So close. We were swinging for 6 as well, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, I think we lost to being on the draw there with not a very fast hand. Why on earth would one do that? Healer's Hawk. Empyrean Eagle. Am I losing my mind? We're at 5, they've got 6. This is the kind of the problem. We're still dead. So even though they made a really, really weird error, there's nothing we can really do about it.
Now do you see the
2 points short of a victory there. Yeah, if we'd have gained 2 life at any point, we'd have won. With no actual avenue to do that. And we were dead last turn anyway, so lucky we even got the extra turn, I suppose. Alright, okay. Okay, we got a 3-lander with a lot of 3 drops and 2 drops. So I'm going to take this hand. It just looks like a nice Naya aggro hand, so I'm all for it. Opponent's mulliganing. See what they can do. Alright, let's go Temple Garden tapped. Next turn we can do Clifftop Retreat into Zertar Goblin. After that, maybe have to shock ourselves on the Sacred Foundry. But I think it's worthwhile. So, Clifftop Retreat. Blood Crypt says to me, probably Grixis Control. In which case, I might actually want to go with the Haste. Get the aggro going. Maybe it's just Rakdos. You don't see it every day. In which case, how do we want to do this? If we actually Domri's Ambush, we make a 3-3 and then they can't point 2 damage at Zertar, just how the stack resolves. I think we want to go with that plan. Get him out of the way. If it was fight, we wouldn't be able to do that. Otherwise, there would be damage on him. And they'd be able to just trade. It'd be a 2-for-1 for our opponent. Let's go with Stomping Ground tapped. If we draw a 2-drop, then we've got Domri, Tick Up, Shock In, play it. So Thrash Threats, another Domri's Ambush is okay. They've got a Bedevil, okay. Ooh, Rien. Alright, now they've used a Bedevil, I think I'm happy to go with the Domri here. Tick up Domri. Put him on 4. Should be difficult for them to do anything about that. And if they don't kill Domri, we've got Rien coming down next turn. Uncounterable, not that that matters. Chandra, Acolyte of Flame.
Chandra Nalar, Pyromancer extraordinaire.
Okay.
Go get him, buddies.
Where are you sending him? To Domri? Puts him dead to a Lightning Strike, no matter what we do. Is this any multicolored? It's just multicolored creature. Alright. I was wondering if Rien would bring Domri back. Not meant to be. Alright, let's get a 5-4 down, which is actually 6-4 for 5. Pretty good. That's a cool animation. I like that. Alright, we got a little bit of protection now. Wish I could put some counters on Rien, but... Ooh, where's the Bedevil going? On Rien. Okay.
Yeah, I like to think on my feet.
Doesn't bring herself back, obviously. That would be broken. Says tap, land, and go. Alright. Well, let's tick up.
I bow to no one.
Let's go with the green. And we want to be able to kill Chandra here. Which we can do with Gruul Spellbreaker with haste. I really want to... I want to put counters on something. We could do Gruul Spellbreaker with Riot. And then Zertar Goblin with haste. Stick the counters on, and then we've got some Huatli's Raptor value. Spellbreaker's the safer one to kill Chandra, though, is the thinking. I think maybe we actually go with Spellbreaker with haste. Goblin without. Kill you.
I am not happy right now.
Put a counter on you. Since we have the Knight of Autumn with counters as well, Huatli's Raptor can get about 3 value. Which is a nice spot to be in. Mayhem Devil. Alright. Well then. There isn't a good spot for us to fight except for with Aurelia. So Aurelia, Domri minus is on the Judith. No, but then we lose Domri. We're losing something regardless, right? If we're trying to kill Judith here. So I guess we could just, like, not try to kill Judith and just go for their face. And, yeah, our opponents realize that we've just got too much value. Cool. Alright, that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, if you do want your deck to be featured on the channel in the future, then you can leave it down in the comments section below. But if you are a Twitch subscriber or a patron, make sure to head over to the Discord. I do have a subscriber deck section there, which will bump you closer to the top of the queue. I'm going to be doing a lot more of the subscriber decks this week, because I'm a little low on ideas, and you guys seem to be throwing some pretty sweet curveballs at me. So make sure to go do that if you do want to be on the channel. This is the best time to do it, so make sure to get in on the action. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You know the YouTube drill at this point. It helps out the channel a great deal, and I don't just say that for the sake of it. It really helps out, so thanks to everybody who does that kind of stuff. Without further ado, though, I'm going to leave you off here. Take care, guys. Hope you have a good day.